Well, the stuntman has put it all on the line in the pursuit of an Australian record in the skies right above Melbourne. Jade Vincent has the daring details.
Well, as observers, our hearts were racing, but Kane Peterson was extremely focused as he crossed the Eureka Tower in Melbourne with a 300-metre free fall below. Carrying a 3-metre pole, he delicately made his way across the rope stretched 21 metres long and 1.5 centimetres wide. Even laying down on the tight wire, we were holding our breaths as he then stood back up and made his way to the other side. Kane revealed later his leg actually cramped.
I probably sat a little bit too long, so I had a leg cramp and I was trying to get my leg back out to stretch it out to stand up, and I was like, oh my God, I've got to how am I going to do this? But, just push myself through it.
Shortly after the first pass, the 36-year-old did it again, still wowing onlookers. His partner Jess relieved to see him safely off the rope. The couple had their first son just 2 weeks ago.
I don't get nervous so much because we've been doing this for 14 years now, so I know he's capable of it.
The skywalk was a reenactment of Philippe Petit's crossing of the World Trade Center in 1974. This is the highest skywalk that Kane has ever completed, and he and Jess hope to reach even greater heights together in their next breathtaking challenge.
Amazing. Perched atop the Eureka Tower, a Tasmanian daredevil has attempted to set a record for the highest tightrope walk in Australia. The new father was 300 metres above Melbourne when a leg cramp set in, and Michael Scanlon was there.
Well, Kane Peterson easily had the best view in Melbourne this morning, but what he had to do to get that view was simply terrifying. This morning on the roof of the Eureka Tower, he walked a tightrope 21 metres long and 300 metres above the ground. It took him around 3 minutes to cross between 2 points, and he did it twice.
Great, thrilling. I've just lived a dream just then, so it's fantastic. It's definitely a moment where you can just take a look around and go, wow, I'm getting a view that very few people in the world are ever going to get.
On his first run, he even stopped mid-walk and laid flat on the rope just to make things a little more difficult. But what we didn't know is that Kane encountered a bit of a hurdle when he was out there. When trying to stand back up, his leg cramped.
I actually got a leg cramp. I probably sat a little bit too long, so I had a leg cramp and I was trying to get my leg back out to stretch it out to stand up, and I was like, oh my God, I've got to how am I going to do this? But, just push myself through it.
Now, watching his every move was wife Jess. She has just given birth to a little boy. Kane said there were a few similarities between this morning's tightrope walk and holding his son for the first time.
Oh, it's a relief, isn't it? Yeah, it's like, not as big as when Jess gave birth 2 weeks ago, but that's similar sort of like euphoria.
But this morning's death-defying feat did have a reason. It was to promote an upcoming movie called The Walk, which pays tribute to French high-wire artist Philippe Petit, who successfully walked between the Twin Towers of the World Trade Center in 1974. Now, Kane says there were a few nerves this morning which did creep in, but thankfully he did manage to push them out.
A death-defying daredevil has made Australian history, walking a tightrope 300 metres above city streets. But Kane Peterson says the euphoria is second to becoming a father a fortnight ago. Yasmin Payton watched the stunt unfold.
Kane Peterson delicately put one foot onto the wire, then the other, and he was away.
It's a rush. I think I get a grey hair every time I do a high wire stunt on that first step.
300 metres in the air, triple the height he's ever attempted. The 36-year-old tiptoed across the 21-metre gap with a harness but no safety net, and with Melbourne looming far below.
Wow, I'm getting a view that very few people in the world are ever going to get.
Just to add to the challenge, he laid down, but that's when things went wrong.
I had a leg cramp and I was trying to get my leg back out to stretch it out to stand up, and I was like, oh my God.
Thoughts of his wife and 2-week-old baby also clouded his mind.
That probably made me nervous more than anything else. Yeah. Seeing Kane going, oh, we've got a little boy. Oh.
Yeah. A few wobbles, but Kane gracefully stepped into the history books, accomplishing Australia's highest tightrope walk, replicating Frenchman Philippe Petit's similar feat at the World Trade Center, which has inspired new film The Walk.
Oh, it's a relief, isn't it? Yeah, it's like, Not as big as when Jess gave birth 2 weeks ago, but you know, that's similar sort of like euphoria.
Rewarded with a hug from mum and dad.
Very, very proud.
I was very nervous. I'm not good with heights.
It was a little cold and windy on the rooftop of the Eureka Tower, but Kane skillfully kept his balance on a wire just 1.5 centimetres wide.
I've just lived a dream just then, so it's fantastic.
Yasmin Payton, 10 Eyewitness News.
A fearless high-wire artist has walked a tightrope 300 metres above the city. Kane Peterson battled a leg cramp as he made the precarious walk across the Eureka Tower, with only a harness to save him. Jade Vincent was there.
A deep breath, and he stepped off the ledge. So focused and poised, Kane Peterson walked among the clouds, the Melbourne skyline a backdrop to this heart-stopping stunt. Carrying a heavy 3-metre pole, the 36-year-old placed one foot in front of the other with precision, making his way across the 21-metre high wire stretched between two peaks of the Eureka Tower. With only a harness to save him, he stopped to take in the view, displaying extraordinary skill as he laid down on the rope 300 metres above ground. Onlookers barely able to watch as shaky legs saw him upright again. Then just a few more steps and the record was his.
Great, thrilling. I've just lived a dream just then.
Elated to see him on the other side was fellow stunt artist and partner Jess, who's just given birth to their first son 2 weeks ago.
That probably made me nervous more than anything else.
Yeah.
Seeing Kane going, oh, we've got a little boy.
We're looking at our son lying 300 metres on a wire above Melbourne. I can't describe it.
Pushing through the wind, Kane revealed he endured another challenge out on the wire.
I actually got a leg cramp. I probably sat a little bit too long. So I had a leg cramp and I was trying to get my leg back out to stretch it out to stand up. And I was like, oh my God, how am I going to do this?
Once wasn't enough for this daredevil gliding across the rope a second time. The walk inspired by Philippe Petit's crossing between New York's former Twin Towers in 1974.
It's a rush. I think I get a grey hair every time I do a high wire stunt.
Incredibly, Kane practiced for this Australian record on a rope just half a metre off the ground. This is the highest tight wire walk he's ever completed and now says the sky's the limit.
It's going to be hard to top this one, but look, if anyone's got any ideas, I'd love to hear about it, and I'd love to keep pushing it.
Jade Vincent, 9 News.
Well, he's wonderful and he can keep it as far as I'm concerned. What do you think, Tony?
I wasn't watching. What happened?
He made it.
Oh, good. All right, let's